I cannot even express how excited I am about what I have in store this weekend. I am going to be doing a 24-hour readathon horror edition. Literally, everyone I've told I'm doing a 24-hour readathon literally looks at me like, they're not like, oh, that sounds like a fun challenge. They're like, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? But it sounds so fun to me. I am so excited. I'm sure this time tomorrow. No, this time tomorrow I'll be fine. It'll just be a few hours in. But I'm sure come 3 a.m. Sunday morning, I'm gonna be like, why did I do this to myself? But at the same time, I'm gonna be up late at night. Everyone else is gonna be asleep around me, and I'll be like diving into all these horror books, and that sounds so amazing. I have pretty recently started getting into reading horror books, and I feel like I've yet to be scared. There was one book, it was actually right here, The Dangers of Smoking in Bed, where I read it like late one night when I was alone. And when I got up in the dark, I was really afraid of some of the images that were in the book. And that is what I want to get out of this readathon, okay? I want to be scared. I want to be spooked. And I think I have just the book lineup that will help me get to that point. So, let's see. What do I have on my list? What do I have on my list? As per usual, I went a little crazy with my list of books that I want to read. I can't help it, okay? I'm browsing, researching, and I just come across so many that I want to read. So, are there 7 potential books that I could read during this readathon? Yes, but I do have some sense of reality in me, and my goal is to try to finish 3 of these books. I wanted to have a variety of different ones that I could choose from throughout the 24 hours. When it's broad daylight tomorrow morning, I'm probably not going to want to be diving into anything too heavy and like super dark. I might want a more fun one. Likewise, when it's the middle of the night, I probably don't want to be like slogging through a old classic horror. So I have a variety, okay, so that I can pick things up throughout the day and the night as I feel so inclined. And as you may have gathered, I am not going to be slacking and sleeping, okay? I plan to stay up for 24 hours reading, 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 okay? If I have to go for a walk and get a coffee, I'm going to be listening to a scary book. If I have to make food, my eyes will still be glued on a book. Okay? 24 hours of straight horror books. And here is the selection. So, first up, we have Rouge by Mona Awad. This is one that I feel like is not actually super scary. So, I feel like this might be a good one to start with. Also, because it's been on my TBR ever since I finished Bunny, which I loved. So, I'm really excited to give Mona Awad another try. Then there are 3 books that I checked out or plan to check out from my library app, Libby. The first is Dracula, because I just felt like I wanted a classic on the list, and it's like, having glanced through the pages, it's written in what seems to be a diary format, which, if that's like common knowledge because it's such a classic, sorry, okay? Which I think will be nice if I'm like looking for something that's not like written in the exact same way as the one that I just finished or something like that. The second one is The Last House on Needless Street. This one, I'm not really sure. Like, it comes up on a lot of different lists. I think it's a bit more of a thriller, so I thought that might be good too, to have a little bit of variety in the level of horror genre tropes, and might be good to throw a little bit of a thriller in there. I think there is a talking cat in this. I don't know. And then the last one that I have available at my library is The Yellow Wallpaper, which I think is a short story. So this is for when I need to like finish a book, get those endorphins, motivate myself. If I'm like struggling, then I'll turn to this one. Although that's not to say that I think this will be like a light, fun, quick read. I think it's a challenging topic and is likely to be very horrific, but that is what I'm going for. So, and then, as I mentioned, I'm gonna be non-stop reading. That means I need an audiobook too. And the one that I chose is called A House at the Bottom of a Lake. It sounds like a very classic horror story. Well, kind of. A classic haunted house story underwater. I really don't know what to expect. I kind of feel like that one would be like a light, quick read, but I really don't know much about it. I just think it will be good to have as an audiobook. So that's that one. Last but certainly not least are two books that I ordered specifically, and I have been waiting patiently to open them. I kind of feel like actually these are going to be the ones that I end up reading because I got them specifically. So maybe I'll have to finish 4 books. Okay? A book every 6 hours sounds easy as hell. Anyway, let's open it up. Okay, here they are. So, as you can see, first up we have Come Closer by Sarah Gran. And this is a teeny book, so I feel like it'll be a perfect read for my 24-hour readathon. There was no reason to assume anything out of the ordinary was going on. Strange noises in the apartment, impulsive behavior, intense dreams. It wasn't like everything went wrong all at once. Shoplifting, fighting, blackouts. There must be a reasonable explanation for all this. And then this review says, it will scare the pants off you. It is a perfect horror novel. Deeply scary, sinister, terrifying. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And I'm also extremely excited for this one. I don't think Grady Hendrix is like the greatest writer, but I think he does write pretty fun horror books. And I enjoy reading them. Like, I read The Final Girl Support Group 2 Halloweens ago, and last Halloween I listened to How to Sell a Haunted House. And both of those were pretty fun, enjoyable reads. Plus, I've always been attracted to this cover. You know the summers when Stranger Things would come out, and it was like a cultural phenomenon? 80s style and vibes just make me so happy. So I felt like this would be a perfect one to add to the list of books for my readathon. It also says, this book packs all the magic of a summer horror flick. And that is exactly what I'm after. I just think it'll be so fun. So I'm going to spend the day preparing, not really, and I plan to wake up bright and early tomorrow morning, start the countdown hopefully at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then read all day, all night, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, it's time. The coffee is brewing, the sun is blasting me into wakefulness, and my books are waiting to be read. It is just before 7:30 a.m. on Saturday, May 25th. And when the clock strikes 7:30, I will be starting the stopwatch. And I will not stop it until we reach 24 hours. I think I slept like 6 hours, which is a great start. I had a gig last night with my band, and needless to say, I'm gonna need plenty of caffeine. but I am extremely excited. Like I said, I think I'm gonna start with Rouge. Let's see. Ooh, there's prologue. A striking novel. Profound and terrifying. I don't think it's going to be very scary, but then again, I'm going to be reading it in this bright sunshine, so it would be hard to get scared anyway. Okay, we're getting closer. When the clock strikes 7:30, it will be time. The first thing I'm going to have to do, though, is listen to the audiobook while I hang up laundry. Because the chores don't stop for a 24-hour readathon. And what is my audiobook again? Oh yeah, A House at the Bottom of a Lake. It's time. It's time. Okay. Okay, we are starting the stopwatch. I honestly don't know if you can see my phone, but the stopwatch is going, so we better get started. Okay, slight change of plans because my library app apparently does not have a house at the bottom of the lake anymore. It just disappeared. So instead, I think what I'll read is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. Okay, now it's off to the races. Okay, I'm about 2 hours in and like 80-ish pages, and I'm sleepy. I'm very sleepy because I didn't get much sleep. And it's been a very soothing, relaxing morning reading. And if this is how I feel after 2 hours, I'm very interested to see how I fare the rest of the day. And I'm thinking I might want to switch between my different book options, you know, just to like get a change of scenery every now and then. Which is not to say I'm not enjoying this book so far. I'm definitely enjoying it. It's actually a bit creepier than I was expecting. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I feel like I can't predict anything because it's Mona Awad. And she writes really weird stuff. So I feel like it could literally go anywhere. So yeah, I'm going to stick with it for a little bit, but might come back if I decide to change it up. Assuming I don't fall asleep. Just kidding. first book done. It kind of took me longer than I was expecting. Like 11 hours for one book. And I'm not totally sure how I feel about this one. I thought it was pretty good. I do think I enjoyed Bunny more. I think there were bits about this book that felt a little bit too much like they weren't grounded in reality, and that made it difficult to care about what was gonna happen, because I just felt like, okay, anything can happen, and there will probably not be any consequences because we don't even know what's real. But I did like it, and I did like how it ended, and I really like Mona Awad's writing, and I thought it was very interesting. And who knows, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I read it all in one sitting. Right now it's sitting at a solid 3.5 for me, and now I kind of feel like I want a change of scenery. Like, I've been sitting around reading all day, so maybe I'll go for a walk and like make a smoothie or something to like energize and revitalize me, just like all the revitalization that's going on in this book, but hopefully less sinister. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I do see why it's described as a horror. It's not actually scary, but I expected that. So I'm excited to get into my other books that I think are a little bit more horror. But to be honest, I don't think any of them are going to scare me. It's also hard to get in the spooky mood when it's like very sunny and gorgeous outside. We'll see how I feel when it's late at night and I'm all alone. So anyway, as I was saying, I think I want to make a nice, revitalizing, healthy smoothie, you know, give me the vitamins and boosting whatever that I need to energize me for the rest of my readathon. I'm like nearly halfway through already, which is crazy, but I know the real hard stuff is gonna start when the sun sets. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna take a walk and listen to, what is it even called? The T. Kingfisher book. I think I listened to like 45 minutes this morning, and it's very short, so I feel like I'll finish that one. And then, given the slow pace so far, I think I probably will only finish one more. I definitely don't think I'd be able to finish all of my best friend's exorcism, which is sad. I think the next physical book I want to read is that little one. So yeah, I'm going to get ready for my walk and see you later. I'm starting to get sleepy, that's for sure. I've read not very much of this. I think it's time to go get some snacks. I am very well stocked, and maybe even a cup of coffee. Let's go. Finished. That was an extremely quick read. And I liked it. Yeah, it's like a possession story. Things start out pretty tame. There's like tapping noises in the house and just like weird things happening, but then it escalates more and more. And yeah, I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I'm very tired. Every other page, my eyes were closing by themselves, and it took a very big effort for me to open them again after a few seconds. I really don't think I have the brain cells to say more about this right now. Okay, third book down. You're looking at 3 a.m., Johanna.
Through it all, Coconut Head still tries to maintain a positive attitude.
I finished What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, and I'm also pleased to report that, as you can probably tell, I have had a second wind. I have baked some questionable looking, very tiny banana bread muffins. I don't know how it tastes, okay? 3 a.m. Johanna may not be the best baker. I felt like I was being a little rash with how I was throwing ingredients about. Anyway, I have a plan for what I'm going to do with my newfound energy for the rest of this time. It is 3 a.m. 3 a.m. basically on the dot. So I have around 4.5 hours, and I have such a good plan. I have managed to track down a copy of A House at the Bottom of the Lake, and it is exactly 4 hours long. Perfect length for me to listen to it for the duration of the rest of my readathon. That's pretty good. And while I listen, I'm going to work on a puzzle. We have this very sweet Studio Ghibli puzzle. It's so fun, so I literally can't wait to put on the audiobook and start working on this puzzle. Oh, but before I do that, I just wanted to share a little bit about my thoughts about What Moves the Dead. First of all, some very entertaining accents attempted by the narrator. Second of all, I feel like T. Kingfisher has only written one novel, and then she has repeated the formula for all her other books. I read 3, and they all are about someone who goes to a house or returns to a house or a place, and things there are weird, and the people there are acting weird. And then there's usually like some sort of nature element, like infiltrating the people. And don't get me wrong, I like it. Like, I think she comes up with pretty cool, scary things. And I was walking in the park getting a little spooked out when the sun started setting, and some of the descriptions in the book were scary. There is an element of like comfort, I guess, in the predictability that I'm finding in her books. So I feel like I would keep reading them, to be honest. They're like easy and enjoyable. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Now, let's move on to the final book of the Readathon and the Studio Ghibli puzzle. I really can't. Now it's a minute. Okay. Well, sleep deprived as I am, I forgot to press the record button when we did the countdown. But here we are, 24 hours. He did it. We did it together. So proud. So, 24 hours. 4 books. Let's recap. Rouge. Can I even recap? Come Closer. What Moves the Dead. And I just finished A House at the Bottom of a Lake. And I gotta say, it's really hard to judge them properly when you've just been reading. But one thing I will say is I enjoyed them all, I would say. But I was not scared at all by any of them. Are there any scary books in the world? Because I want to read them. I did not get to my best friend's exorcism, but I literally finished A House at the Bottom of a Lake the same minute that the 24-hour mark happened. So I think that was pretty epic. And I'm excited to still have this one for when I'm in the mood for like a fun horror, thriller, 80s, summer flick type book. So, yeah. I'm excited that I've done my first readathon. It wasn't as painful as I expected. There were 2 moments where I felt like I was not going to make it through. But then I just somehow got a rejig, and then I was able to carry on. So, yeah, and it was very fun. I'm now, according to Storygraph, 5 books ahead of my goal for the year. But yeah, and there's not really much more to say, except I'm tired, and I'm going to bed. So thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one, I guess.